Alright, so I'm shooting this quick video, guys, to show you kind of an observation I noticed with the quality of newer Hondas these days. This is my 2010 Civic LX Sport. It's got 145,000 miles on it, and I'm doing the oil change right now. As you can see, 145,000 miles. This car has been through 7 New York winters. And I'm going to show you the underneath of the car. Everything's original on the underneath. None of the exhaust components have been changed or anything yet. So there's a fresh oil filter I just put on. This is where your catalytic converter meets your mid-pipe on your R18 models. These are the spring bolts. It's kind of the condition of the bolt head right there. You know, you could still get a socket over it. The flange behind it's a little rusty, but nothing too crazy. Nothing's deteriorating really quickly. It's not that bad for going through 7 New York winters. I mean, we get a lot of salt here. So, but the welds on the flange and the flange itself, they all look very, very good still. The mid-pipe, no signs of it rotting through anywhere, really. This car could probably go another 3 winters easily, so you can probably easily get 10 years out of this stock exhaust system in the salty winters here in New York. Maybe even more than 10 years. As they come back, this is where the mid-pipe meets the catback, and that is the condition of the bolt heads there. You can still see the threads pretty cleanly. The flanges themselves have no rust on them, as well as the weld that connects the pipe to the flange. That's all rust-free still. As you look back, the rest of the car and the rest of the exhaust has almost no rust. Again, you can see those 2 flanges. I mean, you could easily still get the socket on there, and you could spray probably a little bit of PB Blaster, and you'd easily get those bolt heads off. I mean, there's no corrosion, especially, I mean, there's not that much corrosion on these bolt heads for being so old. I mean, 7 winters is quite a bit, and it's not like I wash this car every day. This is my daily driver, so I would wash the underneath of it pretty routinely, but there would be times where I'd go 3-4 weeks without washing it in the winter, so salt would just sit on the stuff. But this just shows you the quality metals Honda used to use. Alright guys, this is my girlfriend's 2016 HRV. As you can see here, it has 22,000 miles. It's about a year and a half old. We got this in March of 2016. So just to show you guys, this car has only seen 1 winter. It's seen the exact same winter condition as this car here, and this car has obviously had 5 or 6 more winters on it than this. They both experienced, you know, the same conditions, the same area, the same kind of mileage per year. And I'm going to show you underneath the car after only going through 1 winter and how the components look. So this is the second catalytic converter flange to the mid-pipe before the muffler. Towards the front of the car, there's the drive shaft to the transmission. And that is how the flange looks after 1 winter. The threads on the studs are so rusted that I'm sure these things would just twist off, studs would break, and you couldn't even get this exhaust piece off after 1 year of owning the car. And you'd probably, which sucks because you'd probably have to buy a new cat, which is what the studs come out of. And it just goes to show the quality of metals they're using for their flanges now. They just must be a really low-grade, uncoated steel. And I think this is just incredible for a car that's 1 year old to have this much corrosion on the exhaust components already. The rest of the car underneath is still somewhat clean. I mean, you got spot weld rust on the control arms. The knuckles actually are pretty rusty themselves too already. After 1 year, it might not be much different than the Civic there, but then again, this car is, you know, 6 years newer and has a lot less miles. The Civic's got, you know, 130,000 more miles in this car. And I'm going to show you the front flange now. All right, so here is the flange that comes straight off the first cat, right off the header. And I put never sees all over these bolts a few months ago just because I took them all out and tried to save it a little bit, but just shows you how nasty this flange looks. I mean, it's flaking apart already after 22,000 miles in 1 winter. The flange on the Civic in the same location is in much better shape. Even the bolts on the mount here are pretty nasty looking, and I mean, it's just, this is literally disintegrating. Look at that big chunk that just fell off. So you be the judge. As I showed you before, that's my Civic with over 140,000 miles. This is pretty much a brand new car with 22,000 miles on it and only one winter. So you be the judge of what you think on the new quality of these parts here. I kind of pretty much disturbed by it. Makes me not want to buy a new car because it just shows me they aren't going to last you know, as well as the older cars. And you know, what's going on here? How much cheaper are we going to start making components to save companies money? I mean, are the exhausts going to like rot out in just 1 year now and they're completely useless? I mean, I can't even work on this anymore. It's after another winter, it's probably going to be to the point where if it does need replacing, you're going to have to cut the damn thing off with a torch or a saw. So and that gets expensive if you want to replace it with all OEM components. So it's just a little disturbing. But I guess here in New York, this is what we got to deal with. But like I said, brand new car shouldn't be looking like this. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have any newer cars yourself and you find some serious issues like this too, you know, post a link to your video or whatever. But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys.